So we've come now to what we might call the disease nursery at the trial site. And what you can see in this slightly odd configuration of plots here is 40 different varieties of winter wheat. And we've deliberately drilled them in this way for a couple of reasons. Firstly, because we've got nice open air circulation between the different tussocks, which will mean that disease can spread from one to the other fairly easily. And then the really densely planted tussocks themselves should have a nice little microclimate inside, which allows disease to spread and to ramp up quite quickly. And you can see from some of the varieties around us that that is clearly working. But why are we doing it? Why are we spending so much time trying to promote disease when we normally spend our lives trying to keep on top of it? Well, this is a testing ground, this is a research centre, and what we're trying to do is understand how both current varieties and older varieties are responding to disease pressure in 2021. So if I step back slightly and tell you that we've got, for example, Skyfall here, still one of the most widely grown varieties in the UK. We also have Crusoe next to it and quite a few of the key recommended list varieties of today. But what we've got behind Skyfall is this variety, Stigg, which some of you may remember from years gone by. It's not a commercial variety today, but what it is an important line for many seed breeders who like to cross from it in order to try and get through some of those positive characteristics. And what you can see in this case with Stigg is that it clearly has very strong yellow rust resistance. We see that pattern throughout this set of 40 varieties. And in fact, for many of us, it's a bit of a walk down memory lane. I could tell you, for example, that this variety is without doubt the most important variety we have here amongst the 40. This is Robigus, which has become a key parent and grandparent to almost the majority of varieties that have come through the recommended list in recent years. Obviously, its disease resistance is not going to perform today, but it gives us an indication as to how the genetics that we've inherited from Robigus may be helping or hindering the varieties that are in production today. Other examples of varieties that you will have grown in the past, we've got Clare here. We have Oakley, which in its day was a very popular variety, but then went down quite quickly to yellow rust, which we can still see is a severe problem. We've also got a variety like Riband. Now, Riband was incredibly important as a variety in its day, and we can see that actually, relatively speaking, the disease resistance is holding up quite well. So what we're trying to achieve with these plots is firstly tracking. It's understanding which varieties still have severe problems with disease resistance, but it can also show us perhaps where new races of yellow rust are coming to the fore and maybe older races of the disease are dying down. So we may see varieties that were very bad for yellow rust towards the end of their commercial lifetime, but now are actually looking cleaner than we would expect. We also, of course, use them to test some of the key varieties that are still providing a good source of yellow rust resistance. So at the front of the plots here, we've got Theodore, one of the cleanest varieties to come through in recent years. Further back, we've also got Costello. Now, Costello is important for yellow rust resistance, not just because it has stayed clean after a good 7 or 8 years in commercial circulation, but also because this contains the young plant resistance to yellow rust, which is relatively rare amongst modern seed varieties. In addition to Costello then, we've also got Siskin and of course Extase. And what you can see from Extase is that even in this very high pressure situation, it does seem to be holding up well to the yellow rust that is rampant in varieties around it. Overall then, whilst it's not the most important thing that we do at a trial site, using these sorts of disease nurseries to understand what's going on with disease resistance in both current and older varieties can give us a real help in choosing the varieties both that we recommend you grow commercially on farm today, but also help seed breeders with understanding what might be going on with some of the lines that they wish to cross with for the varieties of tomorrow and beyond.